Good evening, guys. Welcome to a live stream. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's Andy, the Forest Team Runner here, and we are back to talk about something tonight, which was kindly suggested by James, my friend who you see on the channel all the time. So hopefully he will chime in a bit. And yeah, I'm just getting everything set up here. So whilst I do that, I hope all of you guys are having a great evening. I am not having such a great evening because Spurs are losing, which is not great. So whilst I get the chat open and see who is around tonight, just bear with me 2 seconds. And I've got my cat next to me as well. Oh, nearly. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. Right. Chat is open. Good evening. Heather, good evening. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for the shout out the other night, and I will be contributing to your video or Vlogtober. I didn't know about Vlogtober until I saw your video, so that's awesome. So tonight, guys, whilst I let a few more people kind of join in and tune in, I thought we would get things, get a bit of a debate going about heart rate based training as opposed to running by feel, or a more generic term we could say is more a case of a more scientific approach as opposed to a more kind of natural approach that a lot of people take. There's pros and cons for both sides, and it will be great to hear your thoughts. Got my cat who just won't leave me alone tonight, so he is going to live stream with me. There we go. So who else is in tonight? There's a few of you watching already, so let's get started whilst my cat annoys me. So for some of you that know, taken on a new a coach in the form of Doug from TMR Coaching, which has been fantastic. And his approach to training is very much heart rate based. We also use some software called Training Peaks, which is a bit like Strava Premium, but way more in depth. And it provides us with a lot more information than you would get with that, which is fantastic. It all goes over my head, to be honest with you, but it's great for him to be able to analyze my running and how we can progress on a week-by-week basis. Now, heart rate training is something I've done in the past before. I go through phases of using it and not using it. And you know what I'm like, guys, on this channel. I'm kind of a bit like, I don't like to talk about things that I don't know what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. And I feel like I'm comfortable. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was running with a coach. But as I've only been with Doug sort of a couple of weeks, I don't feel quite yet that I'm prepared to talk about that. But what I am prepared to talk about is this kind of difference between heart rate training and running by feel, because I am deep down an advocate of running by feel. It's very much a tactic I've taken in recent races where I don't look at my watch, I look at the mile splits. If I hear a beep, I'll just check what I'm doing, but it doesn't phase me like it used to, and I don't mentally think now, got to speed up, got to slow down. So from my perspective, I very much enjoy that freedom feeling. However, heart rate training gives you a fantastic insight into how hard you're working. And we all have this kind of 80-20 rule that a lot of us know about. It's obviously a rule that is very commonly used throughout running. 80% of your running is meant to be easy, 20% hard. And that is a very generic outline of it. But the heart rate data allows us to see exactly where we're working and what zones we're working in. Interestingly, the plan that I'm on at the moment, we are working to a 7 heart rate zone plan. So I've got 7 heart rate zones set up, and obviously when we've done recent races, Doug has been able to kind of go back over historic data and see what zones I've been running in, and it's really, by splitting up even more, it's really allowing us to target specific areas. So it's a bit mind-blowing, but whilst I talk, just see who else in the chat. Stefan, good evening, mate. It's not going to be evening where you are because you're in California, which is wicked, and way hotter probably than where we are. So it's going to be morning or afternoon for you. It's 8:30 at night here. James, good evening. Regan, good evening, mate. Thank you so much for your recent support on my videos. Really, really appreciate it. Brian Rosser runs. Good evening, mate. I hope you're well, or it'll be good morning or afternoon for you. I run trails by feel, not pace. Just try and not puke or blackout. Definitely, that's a good idea. So, for example, whilst you guys, okay, let me throw the question out so we can get a bit of a debate going. And then once we've got the debate going, I can come back to the question. So my question to you is, do you run by heart rate or do you run by feel? Or are you kind of in the middle where you use your watch for times, but you don't use heart rate? So it's kind of somewhere in the middle. What's your approach? So as I said, just going back, I have gone through phases where I've used my heart rate and I haven't used my heart rate, and I've gone through blocks where I've really homed in on making sure I run in that easy zone and not. So, for example, trying to run under 136, 37 beats per minute. Before I knew what my zones were, I always used to try and keep it under 140. So just making sure I did that rather than going out by feel, because what I used to do as a bit of an experiment is put the heart rate on, but not look at it, go out by feel and see what feel was. And actually, I'd find that I was still running quicker than I should be. So the heart rate side of things has enabled me to make sure that I'm running in the right zones. Having said that, I'm only using it at the moment for my easy runs to make sure I'm keeping in the easy zone and my tempo runs. When it comes to kind of interval stuff like I did last night, Tuesday night, I'm not looking at my heart rate. I'm just kind of setting go on the watch and letting my heart rate do its thing, and then I can let Doug analyze that at the end, because from my perspective, it is something, it's way out of my depth. I've got to say, I'm getting some cracking feedback from Doug on the heart rate stuff, which is great to see. And I might try and talk about that a bit more at some point. But from my perspective, it's very intriguing and interesting to read everything that he's throwing at me, because I'm someone that loves to learn. I want to learn all the time. I want to kind of absorb and, soak in as much information as I can. And so this heart rate stuff it's not just like strapping a heart rate on and going for a run and seeing what your heart rate is. It's really kind of getting in tune with your body and learning when you're fatiguing. So for example, last night I did 8 by 3 minutes on, 2 minutes off. And within that session, Doug was able to, I'll see if I can get it on my phone. He was able to measure my average speed, my cadence, and my average heart rate. And what that was allowing us to do was to see how we fatigued over the reps. So if I go to my notifications in here and just have a quick look. So last night I ran 8 by, so this is just an example, but this is the awesome information that I'm getting back. So just as an example, last night my 8 reps. So I ran my first one was average 308 kilometer pace over the 3 minutes. 308 with an average heart rate of 166 and a cadence of 172. Now that one was extremely high pace-wise, and the rest settled as an average between 132 and 137. So as we go down to rep 4, my pace was 332 a kilometer with a average heart rate of 167 and cadence of 170. So you can see my cadence had dropped. Now, bear in mind, I'd had a massive gym session in the morning. So my legs were extremely tired. I had a race on Sunday and an easy run on Monday. So I've had 3 days totaling about 30 miles, 31 miles. So it was an intense 3 days. This was the end of 3 days. And then by the 8th rep, I ran 3:15 pace, which is great. Quicker pace. Heart rate was higher, 171. Cadence had dropped to 168. So you can see that with all this data that we're collecting, you can see how from the first rep of a cadence of 172 and a last one of 168, that gradually by the end, form was obviously dropping, getting sloppier, legs weren't turning over as quick as I wanted them to. But it's this sort of information, as much as this is straying a little bit away from heart rate, this is umbrellaing, shall we say, the whole scientific approach to running. So analyzing the stats, looking at data. So we can look at that and go, okay, great job. Pace held out, pace averaged the same throughout. So pace didn't drop, but your form did. And that's where we have to be careful, because that is when injuries occur. When I'm pushing hard, the same kind of trying to keep the same pace, but the form is going. So it's really, really interesting to find out this information about you. And from my perspective, although I'm not worrying about it, I'm just kind of clicking start, stop and sending it to Doug to say, Doug, have a look, let me know what you think. To get these results back is really interesting. So let's see what some of you guys are saying in the chat here. Heather, 7 zones, that would be far more finely tuned. Definitely, it definitely is. I don't know in here if I can find out what my zones are. I'm sure I can find it somewhere, but I don't know zones. Yeah, okay. So we've got a zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5A, 5B, and 5C. I will hold that there. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if the camera is going to focus. Let me read it to you. Zone 1 recovery is 0 to 129 BPM. Zone 2 is aerobic, 130 to 140. Zone 3 is tempo, 141 to 148. Actually, sorry, these are default heart rate settings. So this actually isn't my heart rates. This is the defaults, but this gives you an idea of what the zones are. So zone 3, as I said, tempo, 141 to 148. Zone 4, sub-threshold, 149 to 158. Zone 5, super threshold, I think it is. I can't, it's cut off, it doesn't say, 159 to 162. I think 5B says aerobic ca. I think that's aerobic capacity. Don't know. I think that's your threshold, 163 to 167, and then anaerobic 168 right up to your max. Now, those are the default settings. They're not my heart rate zones because I have a max heart rate of about 187, or that's the max that I've ever had it. So I know that my aerobic zone starts at I can run up to 137. That's where I should be. So just as an idea, it's really breaking it down and working in those specific areas. Stefan, 12:38. Oh, your lunch break then. Wicked. Sandra, hi, not from Worcestershire. Wicked. How are you? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is awesome. Do you race locally? What races do you do? Tell me, because I was contemplating the Worcester Half Marathon earlier this year and I didn't do it, but I would like to maybe do it next year. So I don't know. Do you race around here a lot? Do you come down to Gloucestershire to race at all? Let me know. That's awesome. And thank you so much for saying hi. Heather, actually both. I run by feel, but use my HR to understand how that feel actually affected me cycling. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what I used to do when I would go out and, as I was saying, like put the heart rate strap on, but not look at it. And then when I got home, go, right, that felt really comfortable, but what was I doing? And then I found my heart rate was like 148, 149, which is, you know, not easy. And that was my perception of easy. So actually what this heart rate training is doing is completely changing my perception of what easy is. Easy is, as Doug said, it might feel like you're almost walking. It really is you're having to dial in and tune in and make sure that you're, you know, you're really taking a step back. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we're running at 100 beats a minute or 137. Anywhere in that zone is great. Just plodding, basically. Forest Trail Runner, right? So just very quickly, guys, Forest Trail Runner is James. He is the chap that suggested this topic tonight. Hit James's hit his face, because that's his face. It's his little icon. Hit his face and go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. James is my friend who you see a lot on this channel. Kofuzi, mate, hello. I was halfway through watching your blooming Vaporfly video before I came on the live stream. I'll finish off afterwards. Give me a sneak peek though. Was it good? Was it bad? I haven't seen the verdict. I saw you do the run. I saw you start to talk about it. I haven't seen what your overall thoughts were. And are you going to run in it for the Chicago Marathon? Tell me. You've got to tell us. Roster runs, does cadence affect HR? Well, no, technically it doesn't. What I'm trying to do in the process of all of this is as you've probably seen in my previous videos, I'm doing lots of drills to try and get my cadence up because my cadence is very sloppy and slow. What cadence does do, though, is although the cadence wasn't technically affecting my heart rate, what was happening was if I was taking 172 steps a minute and running a kilometre in 3:30 pace, for example, I'd be running it far more efficiently doing that than if I was running at 168 pace because my body's having to work harder doing less strides. So in a way, yeah, I guess it would affect heart rate. Actually, yeah, it would do because on that workout, my heart rate was highest on the last rep, running in a slower cadence. So obviously you're trying to think about efficiency. Now, a lot of you guys that are shorter than me, because I am 6'6", you'll have a naturally, like James naturally is a 180 steps a minute cadence, so he doesn't have to work hard to maintain that cadence. That's just his natural, what his body naturally does. Whereas for me, that's not natural. So not only am I thinking sit up, chest out, you know, breathing, how's it all going, I'm also thinking, how are my legs turning over? Are they quick? Are they not? So yeah, it does. Stefan, as a new runner, only 1 year in, that's awesome. It's completely frustrating to have to run slow enough to keep heart rate under 150. Will I improve fast? Will that keep? Okay, so that's a really, really good question. The principles that are employed by most good coaches across the world is 80% easy, 20% fast. Now, the fast bit of the running is broken down into specific types of sessions, whether that be a tempo, intervals, fartlek type of work, whatever it might be. They will tell you what you should be doing, but 80% of your running should be easy. I actually did, if you go back to my channel, I can't remember when it was, but it was a few weeks back, I did a typical running week. It's only a few, I think it's in the last 20 videos, and I give a breakdown on the day by day of my mileage and what zones that they fit into, and I ended up running 79% of it easy and then 21% of it hard. So I was pretty much bang on the 80%. So yes, it is difficult, it is really hard, and actually it makes you think that you're going backwards, but the whole goal for running easy is to build up your aerobic base. Now, what Jack Daniels famously said was, you could be running as slow as physically possible in that zone or as fast as physically possible in that zone. Either way, you're getting the same benefits of running as slow as a tortoise or as fast as a hare, should we say, in that easy zone. So take it easy. You're getting no extra benefits from running at the top end of your aerobic zone, easy zone, as you are at the bottom. So scrap trying to run fast. Take your easy days easy. All the best athletes say, take your easy days easy and your hard days hard. So when it comes to a recovery day, bear this in mind. If I'm running my races at, you know, I run a 10K at maybe 5. My 10K was a 5:52 pace. My half marathon, my PB half marathon was 6:08 pace. I'm running my easy runs at 8-minute miling. So I'm almost 2 minutes a mile slower than my half marathon pace. It's going to be over a minute slower than my marathon pace, at least. The other night I went out with my other friend James and we ran 8:30 pace and we just chilled. It's just, and my heart rate was around 134, 133. It's just chilling. I know it feels like you're going backwards, but I promise you, it's for the best. It's just then what you do with the 20% of your fast running that will make you a better runner faster, if that makes sense. So don't waste those. Those are the quality miles and the quality sessions that you need to put in. That was a bit of a long explanation. AJ, hello mate, how are you? I hope you're well. First marathon this Sunday. Whoa, that's amazing. Best of luck. I hope it goes well. Sandra, did the Worcester 10K last year? Was very crowded. Yeah, I mean, I gather that the race was quite busy because I think the half marathon is quite busy. A few of our athletics club, Forest of Dean, went up to do the half marathon, and they said it was quite a big event. If you do any other events, comment on some of my videos and let me know, because it's awesome to know that other local people are around or watching. That's really cool. Heather, I should clarify that I did run exclusively by HR for about 18 months, which is how I figured out how you figured out what easy was for you. Not an easy feat, very humbling. Definitely, totally agree. Couldn't agree more. It is very humbling because you think you're running easy and you're not, so you're running a bit quicker, so actually you need to really take a step back, but that's great. Kofuzi, I think I may try and incorporate heart rate zones for recovery runs and slower runs as a way of disciplining myself. The Vaporfly will be my marathon shoe for sure. Wow, I'm gonna have to watch the rest of your video, aren't I? That's really interesting, mate, because actually I've exchanged comments with you on videos many times going over the years, and for the last couple of years, and we've talked about like easy running, and I remember you saying at the time, like, this easy running lark isn't for me, and it's really weird and hard to get the concept of. And actually I've noticed now that you really have got the hang of it, and you're running your easy days easy and your hard days hard, which is great, because your easy runs used to really frustrate you. I remember going over 8 minutes a mile, and now you're just totally chilling at that pace, which is super. And I remember seeing a screenshot of your watch on one of your recent videos in the slow-mo as your camera came up and around, and it said your heart rate on it, and it was 130 something, and I thought, that's awesome. So you're totally, you know what you're doing. And I would say for you specifically, because you're able to put in that 60-mile-a-week thing every week, just make sure that your heart rate is quite low in those easy runs. And other than that, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't recommend heart rate highly enough, but I've got to say that I'm understanding it more because I have a coach that's telling me and explaining to me. It's very difficult to kind of get your head around and learn on your own, if that makes sense. I know we can all say, right, I'm running in between this and this and this zone, but there are reasons for it. And then there are other factors involved, as I said, like your average heart rate, like your cadence and how quick everything's being done. So as soon as you can see cadence dropping and your heart rate increasing, you know you're working harder, less efficiently. It's incredible. Sandra also did the Severn Bridge Half Marathon a few years ago. Oh, brilliant. That's awesome. And actually, I'm just going to touch on that topic because as some of you might have noticed, I haven't been taking my camera around on my races recently. Number one, it's because I want to focus and run fast. But number two, it's because I've had really bad stitch issues since Swindon. It's really knotted up my diaphragm, and I'm trying to get it sorted out outside of things. And I find that when I'm up here holding my camera, the second my arm goes up, my side wrenches and I stitch. So like the Forest of Dean half marathon, I noticed that I said in my recap video, I want to take this with, I'll explain to you why I didn't take the camera with me, and I didn't explain it's because of that, because I couldn't hold the camera up and I fought a stitch all the way around from mile 2.5. It's really frustrating at the moment. But yeah, it's an incredible race, Sandra. It really is. Absolutely brilliant. If you get to do it again. Evening, mate. What are your thoughts on power-based training? Yeah, well, oh yeah, so that's Ian, Tyres and Trainers. Ian is another local runner to me just over in Ross-on-Wye, and he is also working with Doug, and he is doing great. I've just watched his video just before I came on air. So great video, mate. And I don't know much about it. Doug has talked to me about a power meter. I'm going to be intrigued to learn a little bit more. If you can see that tail, that's my cat, by the way. Don't think there's anything weird. If for those of you new tuning in, he won't leave me alone tonight. I don't know much about it, and I'm going to sit down with Doug and talk about it because he suggested me having a power meter, and I'd be interested in learning a bit more about it. But I know it's a bit of a new thing, and I knew it's meant to be really good, so be interested to see. Rossa runs, do you monitor nutrition? Does that have a big effect on heart rate and efficiently? Yes, it does. And I don't talk about nutrition on my channel for a good reason, because I'm not great with nutrition. Today I've probably eaten 5 cookies, a big bag of crisps, a big bag of Maltesers. I don't know if you have those in America. There's like chocolates. I've had everything that you shouldn't have because it's been a rest day for me. I've just completely taken advantage of the rest day. I mean, my Severn Bridge Half Marathon, I don't know if you remember, I dieted leading up to that to lose a few pounds, and I ate really well, and I flew like a rocket. And this half marathon, I felt sluggish, and I know I intentionally didn't taper, but there is also an element of nutrition there, because I ate out the day before, had a big pizza. I didn't do my normal routine. So although I do sometimes have pizza before a race, it's really good. I'm talking a big pizza, what we would call an American-sized pizza, because it was a big old pizza. Frankie and Benny's, we've got restaurants here, and I had a large pizza, and it makes a massive difference. And I guarantee you, tomorrow when I go out for my workout, I'll suffer for what I've eaten today. But that's my choice. I eat relatively well on most of the days, but when I have a day off and I feel like I want a bit of a refeed, then I just go to town on whatever I fancy, to be honest with you, because life's too short. I'm not an elite athlete, and I've got a sweet tooth and a crisp tooth. But yeah, 100%, it makes a massive, massive difference. If I eat well for a good 3 or 4 days, I can really start to feel the body changing and responding better to training, and just generally having more energy. The more, excuse my language, the more shit you put in your body, the more shit you're going to produce in terms of performances, and the other end too. Stefan, how many years did it take you to reach your level of fitness? I've been running 3.5 years, mate. Not long, so you won't be far off. all I will say to you is I have stuck to a very consistent plan and routine for 3.5 years, and it's got me to running a 1:20 half marathon when I started out running a 2-hour one. So I like to be and I run 40 to 45 miles a week. So I'm a big advocate of it's not how many miles you put in, it's what you do with the mileage. That's what I mean. Those 20% of your weekly mileage it's got to be quality, and if it's quality, then you'll get the best out of yourself. However, that will be changing, because in a few weeks' time, after my wife's surgery next week and all that recovery is out of the way, my mileage will be increasing. I have had a chat with my wife and work things around, so I'm hoping to start to increase my mileage up nearer to 60 miles a week, getting in an extra running session a week. So I just feel I'm at that point now where I've squeezed as much out of myself as possible, training wise and time wise, and I just want to go to that next level. Sandra, I did the Forest of Dean half marathon about 18 years ago. That's awesome. It was when I started running. I had no idea what I was letting myself in for, though the hills just about killed me. That's really cool, because I did the Forest of Dean half marathon back in 2007. So that was my first one. So that was 11 years ago. It's not, so I don't know if my course would have been the same as your course, but where I started was in a place called Park End, and it was a completely different course to what it is now. It's now moved up to the Speech House. I don't know if you know the area very well, but it all starts from there now. But back in the day, I've got the old medal on the medal hanger up here somewhere. I'm not going to be able to find it. Where is it? Where is it? There. Oh no, that's the Cardiff half marathon from 2007. That's when I just did 2 half marathons just on a whim and then stopped running. The Forest one's in there somewhere. Anyway, I digress. Kofuzi, I'm going to give it another shot. Yeah, definitely, mate. You should do. You're very inspiring with what you do. I'm sure I can speak for everyone in the chat room that follows your channel. You are so consistent, and that is a great thing, and that is why your times are improving so much so quickly. It is only a matter of time before you get a sub 1:30 half marathon. And I'm really keen to see what you do on Sunday at Chicago, because I firmly believe, from the bottom of my heart, I really believe that, I sound like I'm getting emotional. Swallow the fly. I firmly believe that if you go out sensibly, you will smash your goal time. And I think you know deep down that although you've set this time out there, I think you know you can go quicker, and I know you can go quicker. Seeing what you do, I believe it. If you can go out sensibly in the first 3-4 miles and really just not get carried away with the crowd, you will fly. By the way, I don't know if you know, the Running Guru, his YouTube channel, he's flying out to Chicago. He's going to be running the Chicago Marathon. If you don't know him, Running Guru, search it on YouTube, check it out. You might find him. It'd be great to see you two together. He's such a charismatic person. He's brilliant. Forest Trail Runner Bugles. No, they weren't, mate. They were walkers, meaty mix, vegetarian, of course, meaty mix, like the mix-up crisps. Bloody lovely. What's its French fries, all sorts. Roster runs. I have a 50 miler this Sunday, and I just ate a hamburger with fries and soda. I will be monitoring nutrition for the upcoming season. This year was just a fun run year, and you've done well this year, mate. I know you had a DNF early in the year, but you've done really well on a lot of your races this year, and your running. You've done some great challenges, and you've just been totally chilled out. And I'm always inspired by the way you look at running and the attitude you have, which is very much to just enjoy it. It's an attitude that I look at and go, I wish I had that. I'm just so competitive with myself that I need to get better. But there are times when I get bogged down with the training and really mentally in a dark place. And I think, damn, man, I wish I could just lighten the load. So I'm sure you'll smash this weekend, mate, and best of luck for you. Thanks, buddy. Dropped out there. Oh, I love that medal wall. That my wife made that for me, because all my medals were hanging on the end of the bed. So every time we turned over in bed, it was clinking. So she made that and gave me permission to hang it where we are now in the kitchen. Forest Trail Runner, what's your favourite medal? The Gloucester Marathon. It's got to be. We went through hell and high water for that bad boy. Or maybe the Cardiff IAAF World Championship race in 2016. I can't take them off. That one is a bit of the castle, Cardiff Castle. The new at 9 medals are cracking as well. They're always great. I don't know where it is. The Gloucester Marathon medal in there. Me and James went through hell for that. Anyway, guys, I'm noticing time is ticking, so we're going to wrap this up shortly. If any of you have any more general questions, fire them in. We'll hang on for another 5 minutes. If you've got anything else you want to ask about this heart rate training, anything else you want to kind of chime in with, that would be super. Any more points you want to add, or just generally any questions you've got to ask me. And if anyone would be kind enough, can you post the Spurs score in there for me? Because I know we were losing 2-0. I hope it hasn't got worse. Sandra, I can't remember. I didn't even know it was a trail. You really didn't know what you were letting yourself in for then. Oh, the Cinderford half marathon one. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? James made that for me. For all of you OG subscribers, back in the year, in March, the Newport half marathon was cancelled. So me and James went and ran our own half marathon. The video cracks me up even when we watch it. We had such a good laugh. We had to wait for the snow to clear and everything. And James pulled out after about 3 miles because he just quite frankly couldn't be asked to run laps of the estate, which just cracks me up. And then I injured myself. So but he made me that medal. So actually, mate, yeah, I forgot about that one. That is definitely my favourite. The inaugural Cinderford half marathon 2018. That is always a good one. Nice channel, mate. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's awesome, guys. If any of you have any other questions, do feel free to fire them in. That would be super. If not, we'll wrap it up. I just want to take the time whilst you are thinking, if you've got anything else to ask, to thank you all for joining in tonight. This is something I used to do on a regular basis. Unfortunately, training and work and everything life got in the way, and I can't commit to this on a regular basis. But any Wednesdays I get a chance at 8:30 p.m, I will try and get back to this because I really enjoy, you know what we're about on this channel. I love building a community. I love sharing content with you. That's why I do my favorite running YouTuber series. I like to kind of spread the message of other channels and just build this online running vlogging community, because we're doing a great job, guys. And all of you interacting with me tonight, I really appreciate it. You're all awesome. And yeah, just taking your time out to not watch whatever soap is on the TV or football, whatever. I really appreciate it. Sandra, great to chat. Been following you on YouTube and Strava. You're an inspiration. Oh, Sandra, thank you so much. Do I follow you on Strava? I'll see if I can find you. I'd see this. My Strava is so weird. One day I'll have X number of followers, and the next day I'll have another 2 or 3, and it doesn't tell me who's followed me. I'm gonna find you now and follow you if I don't already. So whilst I'm doing that, Taz, Ian, mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Stefan, thank you, man. All of you, you're awesome. Thank you very much. Emma, thank you so much for joining in. We're just wrapping this up. I'm really sorry, but thank you so much for tuning in. We had a great chat tonight. If you have only just tuned in about heart rate training, you can watch the whole thing when we're done. But thank you so much for giving up your time to come and say hello. Heather, thank you. I'm looking forward to your next live stream because I love watching yours. In fact, actually, guys, click on a little Heather's little picture there. If you're still watching, click on her, go and subscribe to her channel. She has live shows most Thursdays. She has a live show an hour before the Run Experience have their live show. So Thursday nights for me are sorted. It's my double header of 2 live shows in one. So go subscribe to Heather's channel for sure. It is fantastic. She puts out some great content. And actually, for all of you vloggers that are watching, she's doing Vlogtober, which is where you vlog every day, and she's looking for contributors to that. So head over there, check out that channel, subscribe, watch that video, and send her some content. Sandra, yes, I will. I'm on my Strava list. I will do it the second we're off live stream. Ian, we'll check Heather out now. Wicked. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to have to dive out now and sort this cat out because he is scramming to get out the door. Once again, you're awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And I will see you, hopefully, well, I'll see you tomorrow night for another video that's going out, and then later in the week, again on the Friday or the Saturday for my 10K training. But I will hopefully be back for another live stream very soon. I want to appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye.